get that. Yes.
We were muted. Ha. All for the best, I'm
We
sure.
were having some fun.
But it is time for roller derby. USA East versus West. First half, USA West up 162, USA East 34. USA West in the red jerseys, East in the blue. If you're joining us for the second half, tail of the first half was Team USA West jammers with their speed and agility, and the penalties on Team USA East.
There's the 5-second call, getting ready to start the second half. 30 seconds on the clock. Bailey Wheat taking the star for USA East first, but it's Daniel McLaughlin for the West. Getting right by Tessa Marshall, the last line of defense for the East. Lead jammer goes to the West in the red to start the second half.
Daniel McLaughlin coming around on his scoring pass. Got one jammer to beat up front, zips around the inside, calls off the jam.
That was a nice pick by Lily Dow, cutting off Maureen McIntosh and keeping the lane open for Daniel McLaughlin. He picks up the 4, calls off the jam, nothing for Bailey Weed of the East.
It's one thing we've seen awesome about all of the teams this weekend, an incredible amount of offensive blockers. It's like they're taking that piece of the game and
Not to be
doing the
confused
picks.
with offensive blockers.
Offensive. Offensive. Or I could say offensive.
You said it right. I was just.
But
that was offensive.
It
Blocking.
was. It's like we got lost there. We had a one jammer come out, not get lead, so Team USA East awarded it, called it off immediately. Not quite sure what happened there, but now we're on to Jam 2. Zen Sapinoso out there for Team USA West. And we've got Natalie Foley for Team USA East.
I think I was having a little bit too much fun at halftime. But we
Just a
we're
little.
Back to no, not that kind of fun. No, it's coffee. Coffee and Facebook. But we got Zen Sapinosa. Yeah, Zen Sapinoso.
Yes.
A little jamming, but it's Natalie Foley getting out first for lead jammer. It looked like it was all Zen Sapinoso, and in fact, he gets a forearm penalty. It's now a power jam for the East. Natalie Foley into the pack on her first scoring pass. Dodges past Cameron Brown. Bounces off a check from Lily Dow. Gets caught by Cameron Brown again, but he steps out of it. He gets a penalty, out of play penalty, and it's 5 points for the East. Still on the power jam.
Natalie Foley noticing he was out of play, keeping on going, picking up all 5 points for USA East on that pass.
Lily Dow hip checked Natalie Foley out of bounds. She has to scramble back, comes back in clean, gets caught by Danielle Mauder. Danielle Mauder sends her out of bounds. She calls off the jam, but not in. I'm looking at. Yes, the
3
Western
points.
jammer Daniel McLaughlin, Zen Zapanoso, was able to get out of the penalty box just before the jam was called off. So both teams get to yield a fresh jammer. That is Daniel McLaughlin, number 555 for the West in the red against number 77, Kelly Murphy in the blue for the East.
Looks like one blocker in the box for Team USA West, but a scrum start. Both of them just pushing right there for the center of the track. No movement. Little bit of forward skating. There we go. Now we've got some action. Looks like they were trying to eat time off the penalty and allow Cameron Brown as the pivot to get back on the track.
Daniel McLaughlin sidestepping Osset Pinckney to get through, but there goes Kelly Murphy chugging away, trying to catch up, but about a quarter lap behind Daniel McLaughlin. Bounces off a hip check from Taylor Motto and gets only 2 points. That's yes, there's one skater in the penalty box for Team East, so one skater on the track, 1 ghost point, 2 points for the West, nothing for the East.
And now we're going to have Kelly Murphy, or not Kelly Murphy, that's the other 77, Whitney Emmerich for Team USA West. And that is Bailey Weed for Team USA East. One blocker for the East in the penalty box.
Michaela Bordayo. Bailey Wheat up the inside, races right past, and now moving into defense. But the tables turned. Whitney Emmerich just counter checks. Bailey Wheat hits the deck, and now she exercises her only option, calls off the jam, no score.
0-0 jam to USA West advantage. And they're going to send out Lexi Wagar.
That's right. A tie goes to the team with more points.
Yeah, it does. Lexi Wagar on the track for USA West. Number 17, Taryn Spence for USA East. Had one too many pivots on the track.
Yeah, we got that sorted out. That's a technical penalty, but only if they start the jam and neither team, only if it gets caught too late. Referees do have discretion just to say, hey, take that off.
Well, the referees are now actually able to talk to the players before the whistle starts and probably tell them, you have one too many pivots.
That seems reasonable. It's just...
Lexi Wager throws the hips around to the outside, picks up 4, calls it off. Team USA West 4-0 jam. Cameron Brown now on the track for USA West. Number 9, Bailey Wheat for Team USA East. And everybody starting way up there at the pivot line. Backing up slowly. Now about halfway to the pivot line. Oh, Bailey Wheat around the outside. Lead jammer, Team USA East. Nobody there.
So Bailey Wheat is lead. We've got Cameron Brown knocked to the infield. He's got to come back all the way out of turn 1 to come in behind Kelly Murphy. Cameron Brown, Kelly Murphy. Bailey Wheat breezes through the pack this time, gets an easy 5 points. Cameron Brown has completed his initial pass, but it's still a full lap behind Bailey Wheat. She's calling off the jam, but she did not do it in time. For all 4 points, in fact. All of the East blockers were at the rear of the pack, so all 4 points go to the West. But 3 more points for the East brings Bailey Wheat's total to 8 points for the jam, so she wins by 4. That brings East to 50, West to 176, 23 minutes remaining.
And now we have Zen Sapanoso on the line for Team USA West. Natalie Foley for Team USA East. 1 blocker in the box for East. Zen Sapanoso tries for that inside line, pushed out of bounds. Able to step back in as the pack was going nowhere. Natalie Foley up front, 1 to beat. Nope. Now the waterfall up to the front. Takes a hip check from Lexi Wagar. And that's going to release Zen Sapanoso. He's up front. Round Logan Childs, lead jammer, Zen Sapanoso.
Natalie Foley laid out in turn 3, picks herself back up at the rear of the pack, dodges past Emily Constant, rams past Anastasia Smith and Lexi Wager, gets out of the pack, but that is only her initial pass. Zen Sapanoso just absolutely tearing it up, bounces off a hip check from Carly Thomas as he's calling off the jam. We'll pick up 3 more. Official review requested by the West. So
I believe that is the East official review, not the West, pointing to the blue bench.
Okay, that's an ambiguous angle. He seems to be actually pointing at the penalty box.
So an official review by the penalty box.
That's right. An official review by both teams, or maybe they're splitting, doing half and half.
So if they lose, they each lose half of an official review.
I think, yes, I think he is pointing at the East, and the scoreboard reflects that. So my apologies. It's actually an official review requested by the East. That is the blue team. And, of course, the West in red. That was an 8-0 jam by the West. No points picked up by the East. Clock frozen at 22 minutes, 17 seconds. West at 184, East at 50.
While we're under this official review, just want to remind you that at Fast Girl Skates, sponsored leagues get 10% off online orders. Get your league sponsored today. Email sponsorship at fastgirlskates.com. And don't know if you saw those Team Canada pants on the earlier bout, those Maple Leaf pants. You can get yourself a pair here if you're here. But if you're here, you're watching the live. You can also get them online at pivotstar.com. Proceeds go to support Team Canada Junior Roller Derby. So you get amazing pants and donate at the same time. So a question on a hit in the air by the USA East was not overturned, so they're going to lose their official review. There was no hit, so no penalty given. Daniel McLaughlin battling up front for USA West. Terrence Spence for USA East. Terrence Spence stuck on a tripod over there in the back. Daniel McLaughlin able to beat the blockers up front. Lead jammer, USA West.
Terrence Spence recycled by Lindy G. Trout and Alexandra Smith. Bounces, knocks out Alexandra Smith out of the way, and then breezes around the outside lane. But Daniel McLaughlin looking at his coach giving him the hold signal. Now Terrence Spence waiting for him to call it off, but I think they're just going to let the clock ride as long as Terrence Spence allows them to until he's forced. I mean, the West is content to let the clock run. The clock is definitely on their side, no question about it.
Terrence Spence just riding along behind her pack, expecting that call off and not getting it until she actually made a move towards the line. And now we're going to have Kelly Murphy for East, Whitney Emmerich for West. All the sevens on the jammer line again.
Yeah, now once again, the winner of this goes straight into the final. So the winner of this only has one more game to play, but the loser of this game has to play either Australia or Canada in order to play against the winner of this game again for the championship. This is a double elimination tournament. So the loser of this game, neither of these teams have lost yet. So both of these teams are, no matter what happens in this game, are still in contention for the championship. But right now it's looking like a very strong possibility that the West will have the easy road and the East will have the hard road.
All of the blockers heading in. Ronan blocker on track right now for blue. Logan Childs sent to the penalty box, has to come back onto the track, so he'll be headed in there.
Did I say that backwards?
I am not sure.
The West will have the easy road.
Yes,
the
the
East
West
will have the
have
hard
the easy
road.
road. The East will have the hard road.
I think I might have said it the other way the first time.
Unless they turn this around in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about it. Please continue.
So Whitney Emmerich with a grand slam here on this power jam. Chairs are opening up, so now Logan Child's able to go sit down. Team East getting a couple more blockers on the track, trying to stop Whitney Emmerich. Now they're slowing her down a little bit. A couple of beat up front, round the outside. She picks up another 5.
Kelly Murphy coming in, struggling against the West defense. Runs into Maya Johnson. On the outside, Rochelle Joubert and Lexi Wager teaming up and get Kelly Murphy to the ground as she gets lapped yet again by Whitney Emmerich. Only 4 points, though. Fourth scoring pass for the West, but this time it's Helena Thompson knocked Whitney Emmerich out, but then Lexi Wager comes across with a sternum check that laid out Helena Thompson. But Whitney Emmerich, though, having the hardest pass of the jam. Only 3 points as well. She has to call it off. Kelly Murphy does bring home 3, though, but it was a struggle.
It was. Well-earned 3 points, 53 USA West, 211, or 53 USA East, 211 USA West. It's all USA. And we have Zen Sapinoso for USA West and Taryn Spence for USA East. Zen Sapinoso battling to the outside, the back of the track. Taryn Spence. Zen Sapinoso almost kept his feet, fell inside, has to recycle back behind Michaela Bordallo. And Taryn Spence able to battle up against Amelie Constant, gets by lead jammer USA East.
Zen Zapanoso finally getting by Tessa Marshall, and then Taylor Motto getting in front of him, but Zen Zapanoso sidestepping, slips through, completes his initial pass. Taryn Spence is lead jammer, but is only on her now on her first scoring pass. No points yet. Zen Zapanoso 4 on the first one. Jam gets called off. Taryn Spence will get 3. So in spite of getting lead jammer, USA East will not win the jam. USA West picking up 4, East with 3.
And now it looks like we have an official review on the board for USA West. USA East already used theirs, so USA West says, we'll use ours too.
And if you are enjoying the high-quality stream by Tenacious Ventures today, you can donate by clicking the Donate button on the JRDA homepage. It's www.juniorrollerderby.org.
That you can. You can also get new Antic boots now in stock at fastgirlskates.com. Fast Girl Skates, of course, sponsoring this stream. We're very grateful for them for their support and for your support by clicking that donate button.
Once again, this is an official review. The East already using their official review that got, overruled, or the no call stood in that case. So they lost their official review. So now Team West using theirs. Captains have already reported their review request, and the referees are now in consultation.
So, while you're following us here on the live feed, of course, you can be live tweeting along with us. Hashtag is JRDA, or you can follow at JRDA_rocks. Well, we have people over there tweeting their little thumbs off to keep this all informed for you. So coming up after this one, Bulldog, we're going to have Australia versus Canada at 3:30 p.m. The matchup yesterday was really a lot of fun. Both of these teams are very dynamic and strong teams.
That's right, and that is the second. That will be the first bout of the second elimination bracket. So both teams fighting to stay alive in the tournament. The loser will go straight to 4th place. The winner between Australia and Canada coming up next will go on to face whoever is defeated in this game. That will be a bout to see who goes into the final against the winner of this game.
And that final, of course, coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. So we have a full another 6 hours at least of roller derby coming straight to you thanks to Tenacious Ventures and Fast Girl Skates, and of course you.
Hey, the referees being very careful, doing double checking, doing very careful deliberations, taking their time, making sure they get it right.
Now the head ref calling the coaches and captains back over, so it looks like they've made their decision.
That's head referee Sean of the Dead now reporting the results of the review. Once again, official review requested by USA West. USA East has already used and lost their official review. Now, when we come back, right now there are 2 blockers in the penalty box for USA West. One blocker for USA East in the penalty box. Of course, we're waiting to see the results of the official review. We always
Basically,
kind
based
of
on
one thing
the-
is to watch the penalty box and after the official review.
And based on the reaction of Coach Vito, I don't think they're going to win that official review. He was
And they don't
shaking
know.
his head and grinning. So
We should have a report coming in of what that the details of that official review, and we'll get those to you as soon as we have them.
we should, yes. Generally, they come over and let us know, but looks like they want to get this roller derby underway. So we may never know, but it looks like Team USA West has lost their official review according to the scoreboard, and Bailey Wheat now on the track, lead jammer for Team USA East. Daniel McLaughlin out on his initial pass now.
Alexander Smith getting sent to the penalty box. That drops briefly down to a single blocker for USA West. So that spells trouble for Daniel McLaughlin. But he does a nice job, gets knocked by Carly Thomas, but then uses that momentum to dodge around Madeline Yoder and complete his initial pass. However, his scoring pass. However, that was a win for USA East, 8-4. That brings East to 64, West to 219. Just over 16 minutes remaining.
And now for the first time today, we're seeing Maya Sagos on the jammer line for USA West. Taryn Spence back on the line for USA East. Taryn Spence cycled all the way back by 51-50 Maya Johnson. And there we are, front of the pack, Maya Sagos, lead jammer, USA West. Taryn Spence battling out there in the front up against the tripod, trying to break that up. She finds a seam, but they recycle water falling to the front very effectively. Taryn Spence around the inside. They'll let her go, completing the initial pass on a huge hit on Maya Sagos by Ashlyn Fish. Ashlyn Fish called on the penalty, going and sitting down. So a full blocker complement in the box for USA East. It'll be 4-2 advantage as they are coming to the line. Whitney Emmerich for USA West and Natalie Foley for USA East. And I think we're going to have the medics going over checking out probably Maya Sagos as a result of that hit. Natalie Foley, lead jammer for USA East. Whitney Emmerich completing that initial pass. Natalie Foley hit to the outside, calls off the jam, picking up 3 points for USA East. Rochelle Joubert on the line for USA West. Number 9, Bailey Wheat for USA East. And an official timeout called.
A low block that was no call, and the no call was held up.
Yeah. Oh man, that seems complicated. I thought it was like some kind of assassination.
What was that foul out? Was that Logan Charles foul out?
We did get the result of that official review, and I'll let you know right after. It didn't really have any effect on gameplay. Bailey Wheat now completing her initial pass. Rochelle Joubert not happy with herself. But we've got
Have a skater down on the track. The jam called for injury.
medics called over.
And
But she's being taken care of.
that she is our medical corps on the spot. We don't like to use them, but we are glad to have them. And just to let you know, Logan Childs has fouled out of the game just before the last jam.
Okay, and so late, better late than never. Well, we have this opportunity. That's good news. Alexander Smith getting back up. May have just had the wind knocked out of her. However, I mean, I didn't see any signs of alarm or overt concern from other than routine concern. Obviously, we're always concerned when a skater needs medical, even medical concern, much less any actual treatment. But that official review earlier, but 3 jams ago, we finally did get the information. It was a no call on a low block. There was a low block called on an East skater. That call then got overturned in play, so the skater was told to return to track. I don't remember seeing that low block or the call or the overturning, but the West wanted that call to stand, but the no call or the overturned call got upheld, and therefore there was no change to the penalty box, no change to the score. Right. And now we move into the next jam. Bailey Wheat, number 9, jamming for the East. It's a power jam. Rochelle Joubert in the penalty box for the West. And Bailey Wheat getting through for her first grand slam of the jam.
Bailey Wheat zips on by Amelie Constant. Amelie looking for that cut track, not getting it. Rochelle Joubert out of the penalty box, working on her initial pass, pushing to the center of the pack. Wall of blue pushes her down to the inside. She'll have to not recycle. She did not go out of bounds, but had trouble standing up. Meanwhile, Bailey Wheat now on her going to be 4th scoring pass. Picking up all 5 on that one.
It's shaping up to be a big jam for the East. In fact, one of the bigger jams of the game for either team. Rochelle Joubert, though, fighting against Carly Thomas, but he gets caught as she gets by Carly Thomas. Bailey Wheat, the jammer out of nowhere, checks Rochelle Joubert back into the pack, back into the clutches of the Eastern blockers. But, that sounds almost like a Cold War reference.
Almost.
But Bailey Wheat, in the process, got swallowed back up into the pack even further. So that was a beautiful move, but in practice, it actually turned out worse for her than for Rochelle Joubert.
That's right, the USA West blocker core right there on her.
Nevertheless, 24 points, one of the biggest jams in the game on either team. So huge effort. Oh, sorry, it was adjusted to 23 points. 23 points for Bailey Wheat of Team East.
Cameron Brown zips around the inside, lead jammer right there before turn 1. We don't see that happen very often, but he found that seam and took it. Kelly Murphy having trouble through the pack. Cameron Brown already on his initial scoring pass. Jumps over a down blocker, picking up 5 points.
5 points, and of course, lead jammer Kelly Murphy getting by Anastasia Smith to complete her initial pass for Team East.
Danielle Matter clearing the way for Cameron Brown to get up front, call it off, picking up 4. So he'll take that jam 9-0. And you're right, Bulldog. Neither team has really had any really breakout jams. There's been some great power jams, 15, 20 points, but nothing of the huge caliber. USA West has been doing it by 5s and 10s.
Yeah, if memory serves, but I might be thinking of a different game, but if memory serves, I think there was a 29-point jam, if I'm not mistaken,
I believe
in the first half. If I remember correctly, that was Zen Zapanoso, but it's not relevant. A 23-point jam in just about any game is a big jam, yes. And in this game, definitely. Both teams with such strong defense in general. Like we were saying before, so far it has been the jamming power of Team West that has really been running the show, because they're fairly equally matched in terms of blocking. It's the jamming. It's just the Team West has been able to shut down the Eastern jammers, whereas the Western jammers have had the agility to take advantage of the excellent blocking, whereas much more so than the East.
And right now we have Maya Johnson sent to the penalty box for a back block. So Team USA East now on a power jam with Natalie Foley as their jammer. Natalie Foley trying to push through the center of that four wall. Zen Sapinoso, Cameron Brown, or not Cameron Brown, Daniel McLaughlin, and Zen Sapinoso taking a turn, and Lexi Wagger. So you've got their three star jammers out there taking a turn blocking, and they are really handing it to Natalie Foley. So she's going to hand off the star to Taryn Spence.
Now, Natalie Foley obviously got all 5 points before passing the star because Taryn Spence completed the pass without the star on, only put it on about halfway back around into her next scoring pass. And so, but still, complete 5 points, but now in the penalty box, it's a power jam. Power jam for Maya Johnson, number 5150. First time jamming in this game. Gets another grand slam that brings her to 14 points for the jam. Natalie Foley going to the penalty box now. And that left only one blocker on the track. That was Haley Thompson. Oh, no, that was actually two blockers. Carly Thomas laid out and getting up very slowly, but looks like she's just going to catch her breath a little bit.
Looks like she got the breath knocked out of her. The medics are going to go over and check that out.
Now there's going to be just a routine check by the medics because when they see that, especially at the junior level, you don't want it to take any chances. So they are going to have a routine mandatory medical check just to make sure.
Yes, just to make sure. Now we have an official.
It wasn't requested, however, it's by the team rather. It's just.
And now it looks like Michaela Bordello has fouled out, so two team members for USA East have exceeded the maximum number allowed penalties, and will take a trip to the locker room. Now we have the officials talking over some things in the center of the track, possibly about that hit. The officials, of course, very, very careful to look for egregious hitting once again at this level of play. And yes, they're all-stars, but they are still kids.
Although some of these kids, I would be kind of scared to meet in a dark alley.
I'd be scared to meet most of these kids in a dark alley, especially if they had their skates on. I mean, even without their skates on, I can't outrun them, but...
I don't know. Some of these have been skating roller derby longer than some of the adult leagues have existed. They have been, and that means they have been training. They've been training hard. You do not. I don't know any roller derby athletes that don't train at least 3 to 4 times a week, which is more times than some people eat breakfast.
That is true. And, of course, some of these kids also skating with USAR's adult teams or skating just against adult teams in scrimmages. The level of play is phenomenal.
So the spikes.
Okay. This is interesting. That official review was a technical infraction, a technical team infraction. 2 jams ago, Alexandra Smith was, as you remember, she was late or slow getting up.
Yes.
The medics were called over. The jam had actually been called due to that injury or concern over potential injury.
Right.
She had to sit out a mandatory 3 jams. That is by the rules.
Yes.
And she apparently only sat out 2. I completely missed it myself. I didn't notice. So that is good tracking by the referees. She only sat out 2 jams, and therefore that is a technical penalty to be served by the team captain for the West. That's actually the first time in my memory that ever being called. That ever happened.
That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Lexi Wegger are going to have to sit in the box.
Now, of course, it is one of those things where if the referees had seen it before the jam started, they could have said, no, you have to go back to your bench, and they could have avoided the penalty. However, it is the obligation of the team to keep her out of the jam for 3 jams. if the referees don't catch it in time to send her back to the bench, then it is a technical penalty. Very similar to when you call off the jam when you're not lead jammer.
Right.
Even if the referee makes the mistake and calls off the jam, blows the 4 whistles, it is still the penalty is assessed to you. Because referees aren't always going to be perfect, and so you have some responsibility. But
Right. You have
sorry
to remember
about that.
You're not lead jammer. You can't call that off.
But I apologize. We talked right through that jam. That was a 4-2 jam for the West.
And now we're going to have Zen Sapinoso on the line for West.
But other than that, no one gets any credit for that jam because of us.
And Bailey
unusual
Weed.
situation, though.
It is Zen Sapinoso trying for the inside line. Bailey Weed on the outside, beating that last line of defense untouched. Bailey Wheat, lead jammer, USA East.
Bailey Wheat having a great second half on the jammer line. She got that big 23-point jam. And this time gets lead jammer ahead of Zen Sapinoso. That is a tough thing to do, though. We've seen that strong, agile, strong, fast. All of the, I think that's
That's the trifecta right there.
That's a trifecta.
With that jam,
But
2
Bailey
points.
Wheat able to beat him to it, gets the lead jammer, wins the jam. Only going to get 2, though, but still no points for Zen Zapinoso.
I'm going to do a little cutaway with Jim over here with Team Australia, a little live interview. And then so I'll be here to kind of just direct you. So when you guys are done.
So move into the next jam. That jam put USA East into over the century mark. We've got Madeline Yoder jamming, number 12 for the East. Oh, but she gets a cutting as she was chasing down Rochelle Joubert. So now Rochelle Joubert with lead jammer and on the power jam. First scoring pass. Slips past Maureen McIntosh. Gets caught by Carly Thomas and Taylor Motto. A low block call. Excuse me. A low block called on Rochelle Joubert. That makes the scoring pass end abruptly. Of course, she may have some mystery points, but Madeline Yoder back in, and I think she actually got released before Rochelle Joubert sat down, so it's a full 30-second power jam for East.
Barring any jammer penalties, of course, but Madison Yoder, Lily Dow handling her in the back, forcing her to the inside. Madison Yoder makes her way around Lily Dow, working up against Lexi Wagner up front, pushed to the inside, gives Lily Dow time to get up there, holds her back. And Madison Yoder through on the initial pass.
Rochelle Joubert going back to the penalty box, this time on a forearm penalty. She's following Cameron Brown, her teammate, into the box, so that's a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Madeline Yoder on the power jam, 5 points on the first scoring pass.
Team East trying to get Lily Dow separated from Amelie Constant and Lexi Wagner. Lexi Wagner laying a shoulder in. Amelie Constant getting up there, throwing hips. Nice shoulder by Amelie Constant. Unfortunately out of play, so she'll go and sit down. But that slowed it down for the end of the jam. Amelie Constant, not a big player, but she's been playing since she was 6 years old.
Right, started out with the Tootsie Rollers, but very quickly outstripped her age level.
That she did.
So she was actually, as I understand, drafted into the juniors. Actually, an exception was made to allow her to practice with the juniors, although she could not actually bout with them. She could not officially bout with them until she turned 11. But she was actually practicing with the juniors, and occasionally sometimes actually practicing, although without contact, with adults. She has that level of athleticism and skate skills. So that's why she's the shortest one on the track.
Yes.
Is because everyone else.
She's one of the youngest ones on the track.
She's given up about 5 years to everyone else on the track.
Yes, But as you saw, that hip check followed with that shoulder check, just laying out the Team East jammer. She has definitely earned her spot on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Ms. Foley for Team USA East and Whitney Emmerich for Team USA West. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. And
Danielle Mauder
Check.
and Lily Dow working Natalie Foley, but Natalie Foley able to get by. Danielle Mauder heading to the penalty box. The lead jammer goes to Natalie Foley. She actually crashes into her teammate and team captain, Carly Thomas, but gets all 4 points, calls off the jam. East winning another jam 4-0. That puts them at 119. West at 259, but only 2 minutes less, just barely over 2 minutes remaining in the game.
so we're down to 1, maybe 2 jams, possibly 3 depending on timeout situation. But it's going to go faster than the final 2 minutes of a basketball game, that's for sure.
Whistle blown with 1 minute 58 seconds remaining on the penalty clock. So 2 seconds longer on the jam clock. So potentially USA West could just let this jam go. But that's actually going to be up to the East. They have lead jammer. They have control of the clock. That's Bailey Wheat. Bailey Wheat, a stellar performance in the second half. All of the East jammers struggled a bit in the first half. But Bailey Wheat, absolutely outstanding performance on the blue team this half. We've got, but she calls off the jam for 4 points, quick 4. She's going to call it off and force another jam.
Down to just over a minute. So that last jam took about a minute off the clock. Cameron Brown on the line for USA West. Taryn Spence for USA East. Whistle blows. Cameron Brown looking for that outside line. Not able to get it. Finds a seam on the inside, but they recycle in. Ashlyn Fish with a huge hit.
That was Osset Pinkney with that shoulder check.
That's
taking
right.
down Cameron Brown. Cameron Brown looks for the outside lane. Gets caught almost by Carly Thomas, but Carly Thomas sent spinning by a counter check, and Cameron Brown is lead jammer. The West now in control of the clock, so the East at their mercy. Taryn Spence still on her initial pass. Runs into Lexi Wager and Whitney Emmerich. Those two skaters taking turns, but Danielle Mauder comes across. Taryn Spence just absolutely getting the tar beat out of her this jam as Cameron Brown comes around for a second scoring pass, this time brought up short by Tessa Marshall and Osset Pinkney.
Cameron Brown having a little bit of trouble looking up at the clock. He's only got a few seconds left on the period clock. Engaging, there we go, period clock winds down. Calls off the jam, your unofficial final, USA West 264, USA East 123.
I'll be right here. I'll be cueing you like this. Okay?
What a game, wouldn't you agree, Bulldog?
Absolutely. Very tremendous talent shown by both sides. Absolutely the thing if you go back and watch that game, it's the blocking that you really need to look at. Both teams, very, very good blocking. The thing is that the offensive and defensive blocking for the West was absolutely capital, and the Jammers had the skills to take advantage of the very tiny openings that the West was able to just wedge into the Eastern defense. When you watch the Eastern defense, they were not slacking on blocking. It's just that they were matched equally by the blocking of the West.
Right.
And it was only the Jammers able to take advantage of those tiny openings. The Eastern Jammers, not other than Bailey Wheat, not quite able to capitalize on those little bitty openings. But the openings were sparse. They were hard to come by on both teams.
To come by.
Absolutely stellar blocking.
And you really got to take advantage of those openings, like you said. And also the jammer penalties on Team USA East taking a heavy toll in the first half. Once that separation started, Team USA West never really looked back. Victory laps being taken. So The West will move on to the championship game. Team East will play the winner of Australia and Canada at 6 p.m. And that's going to do it for us for this game. I'm going to hand this over to G.I. Jones with an interview with Team Australia.
All the nerves on me. Hi, G.I. Jones here at the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. I am with Mama B and Team Australia going up next against Team Canada. Team Australia, what did it take to get here to Kent, Washington for the Junior Roller Derby World Cup?
We sizzled a lot of sausages, we baked a lot of goods, we did raffles, we did garage sales. We have a lot of support back home that helped us to get here, really, so we're very grateful for that. Thank you, everyone back home.
So great. What has your experience been so far at the World Cup? How is everybody treating you? How does it feel to be here?
We're the ones with the accent. It's really, really weird. Everyone's been really welcoming. Everyone that we've come into contact with down the hallways has thanked us very much for being here. We're just really, really excited. We're having a great time. The kids it's just awesome. It's great.
I was, of course, paying attention to the games. You guys have been smiling the whole time. Nothing's getting you down. What's your strategy for going up against Team Canada next?
Just get out there, do the best we can, dancing, dancing, just
Positive energy.
Positive energy, having fun. I think fun is one of the main key things you guys have been doing. And I've seen smiles on you guys all through the weekend. Awesome work. It's great to have you here. And back to you.
All right, thank you, G.I. Jones.
Good job.
Up next, we're going to have Australia versus Canada in just about 21 minutes. That's going to do it for me. I was here with Bulldog. I'm Daddy O. And we will talk to you later.